So we start our journey of 250 MCQs, which will cover everything you need to know about class 6 to class 8 science and CRT. Question number 1: which of the following organisms are autotrophs? So autotrophs is basically who make their own food. So here answer is 1 and 2 because fungi are not autotrophs at all. Algae and green plants are autotrophs. So mode of nutrition in which organisms make food themselves from simple substance is called autotrophic. Auto basically means self and trophos means nourishment or nutrition. Okay. And algae and green plants prepare their own food using photosynthesis, and they are autotrophs. Fungi are basically they depend on others and they cannot prepare their own food, and they are not autotrophs at all. Question number 2: plants take carbon dioxide from air through which of the following? So roots are usually not exposed to the air, so roots cannot be there. Fruit is nothing to do with that. Stem is not there. Answer is basically stomata. So these are basically pores on the leaves which are surrounded by guard cells. So remember these keywords, these are asked in the questions. So carbon dioxide from air is taken in through the tiny pores which are present on the surface of the leaves, and these pores are surrounded by guard cells, and such pores are called as stomata. So answer is D. Question number 3: in desert plants most of the photosynthesis takes place in which of the following? So basically their leaves are very scale like, and in desert plants you will find the stem is doing most of the photosynthesis, example cactus, etc. In usually plants the photosynthesis takes place in leaves, but here answer is C, stem. So desert plants have scale or spine like leaves to reduce the loss of water by transpiration, and these plants have green stems which carry out photosynthesis. Question number 4: why do we add nitrogenous fertilizers to soil when nitrogen is so abundant in the atmosphere? Now it is such a logical question that every PMT aspirant will like love it. So here the basic answer is atmospheric nitrogen cannot be absorbed by plants. It has to convert into certain form through like nitrogen cycle, then it converts into ammonia, then nitrous, and all these conversion takes place. So here answer is B. So atmospheric nitrogen cannot be absorbed directly by the plants. Soil has certain bacteria that converts gaseous nitrogen into usable form and release it into the soil. So basically with lightning, nitrogen comes through the rain and then it comes to soil, then it converts into ammonia. The entire thing is called as nitrous cycle, and when plants die, then again this nitrogen is taken back to the atmosphere. These soluble forms are absorbed by the plants along with water. Nitrogenous fertilizers are added to the soil to make usable nitrogen available to the plants. Question number 5: fungi are able to grow on almost all the kinds of organic matter. Where do the fungi growing on a piece of bread kept in a closed room come from? Now this is again a very important question. Like, do they grow by themselves? Okay, nothing grows by itself. Nothing grows by itself. Just remember their basic science principle. Fungi cannot grow on organic matter placed in a closed room. क्या बात कर रहे हो यार? Just keep a bread in any closed room you want, it will get fungus. Fungi are present on all kinds of organic matter. This is also wrong. Basically what happens is in air everywhere there are fungal spores, and whenever the things get warm and wet they germinate and they grow. Basically the answer here is A. So fungal spores are generally present in the air, and when they land on wet and warm things they germinate and grow. Question number 6: lichens is a symbiotic association. Typical question asked very frequently. Answer here is algae and fungi. Algae produces food, fungi provide shelter. So in organisms called lichens, a chlorophyll containing partner which is algae and a fungus lives together. The fungus provides the shelter, water and minerals to the alga, and internal alga will provide the food which it provides by photosynthesis, because without food nothing can survive, right? Question number 7: which of the following is an example of a symbiotic relationship? Rhizobium and legumes, fungi and plants, lichens, cuscuta and other plants. Here the answer is symbiotic means rhizobium and legumes are symbiotic because in legumes there are nodes, and in which the bacteria rhizobium survives, like hemoglobin and all that, it helps in the absorption. Fungi and plants definitely not, they are parasitic usually, except if in case of mycorrhiza, that is a very different issue. Lichens are obviously, and cuscuta reflexa is again a parasitic plant. So answer here is B, that is 1 and 3. 2 can be there in case of mycorrhiza but not usually. So bacterium called rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into soluble form, but rhizobium cannot make its own food. So it lives in the roots of grams, peas, mung, beans, and that is why they are called as leguminous plants, because they have these nodes called as legumes. And most of the pulses are obtained from leguminous plants, and in turn plants provide food and shelter to the bacteria. Fungi, lichens I have already explained. What do you understand by animal nutrition? Okay. Nutrient requirement of an animal, obviously. Mode of intake of nutrients by the animal, yes. Utilization of food in the animal body, so all these are like taken care of. So this is mentioned in the NCERT. Animal nutrition includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of nutrients, and utilization of food in the animal body. Question number 9, the saliva breaks down which of the following? So basically, saliva has an amylase enzyme. Okay, so it converts starch, which is a complex carbohydrate, into relatively simple sugars. So saliva has amylase activity which helps in breakdown of starch into simple sugars. Okay. Question number 10, which of the following are secreted by the stomach? So here hydrochloric acid, mucus, digestive enzymes, all these are secreted by stomach. So answer is D. So inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, digestive juices. Mucus protects the lining of the stomach. The acid kills many bacteria that comes along. So this is very typical, very basic level science. Makes the medium in the stomach acidic and helps the digestive juices to act. The digestive juices break down the protein into much simpler substance. Okay. Question number 11, digestive enzymes of stomach convert which into which? So in stomach, like basically proteins are converted into simpler substances. Okay, nothing else. Pepsin is the enzyme which is present in the stomach. So answer here is D. So pepsin converts proteins into simpler substance. Question number 12, bile juices secreted by the liver is essential for the digestion of. So it is needed in the digestion of fat. Answer here is C. So liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It is the largest gland in the body and it secretes bile juice that is stored in a sac called the gallbladder, and the bile plays an important role in the digestion of fats. Okay, question number 13. Pancreatic juices helps in the digestion of which of the following? So here the answer is 1, 2, 3, carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Vitamins do not need to be digested, they are absorbed as it is. Pancreatic juice helps in digestion of everything. So here answer is C. Okay. Question number 14, which of the following organs is involved in the digestion of carbohydrates, fats as well as proteins? Now it is an important question because you need to understand stomach does not digest everything. Small intestine digests everything. Pancreas के बिना नहीं हो सकता. So answer is 2 and 4. And large intestine is largely responsible for absorption of water. That's all. So answer here is C, that is 2 and 4. So both the pancreas and the small intestine secrete digestive enzymes which help in the digestion of carbs, fats as well as proteins. And question number 15, जैसा कि मैंने अभी बताया, large intestine is involved in which of the following? Because it is largely involved in just absorption of water. So answer here is A, water and salt. So large intestine is wider and shorter than the small intestine. Then why it is called as large intestine? Because it looks very large. Okay, the diameter is very big, but it is smaller in length. Its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food material, and the remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as semi-solid feces. The fecal matter is removed from the anus from time to time. This is called as digestion. So we'll continue our discussion. Thank you for watching this. Question number 16. What is the purpose of ORS, which is commonly given to patients suffering from diarrhea? Decreases intestinal motility and thereby cures diarrhea. Absolutely wrong. Basically, it helps in replenishing salts and water which are lost from the body. So here answer is C. So diarrhea may be caused by an infection, food poisoning, or indigestion, and it is very very common in India, and it leads to lakhs of deaths. This is because of excessive loss of water and salts from the body, and it should not be neglected. And even before a doctor is consulted, the patient should be given plenty of boiled and cold water with a pinch of salt and sugar. This is called as oral rehydration solution. You should read more about it, especially if you are preparing for civils. In herbivorous, rumen helps in the digestion of which of the following? So rumen is basically helps in the digestion of cellulose. So human beings cannot digest it because we do not have this. And grass is rich in cellulose, which is a type of carbohydrate, complex carbohydrate. It's just like our starch, but a different chemical bonding. Many animals, including humans, cannot digest cellulose, and but ruminants have a large sac-like structure called as rumen between the esophagus and the small intestine, and the cellulose of the food is digested here by the action of certain bacteria. Okay, rumen does not secrete any digestive enzyme. This is important. It is because of bacteria, and these bacteria are not present in humans because humans do not have rumen. Pseudopodia and amoeba are used for which of the following? Pseudopodia is basically like a movement like structure, and it is used for capturing of food. So amoeba is a microscopic single celled organism. Again important, it is single celled organism and it is found everywhere, pond, water, etc. Amoeba has a cell membrane, a nucleus and many small bubble like vacuoles in its cytoplasm. So these vacuoles can store many things. And amoeba pushes out one or more finger like projections. These are called as pseudopodia. Pseudo means false, podia means feet. So they are technically not feet because they are just membrane, and it helps in the capture of food. So you can read more about amoeba here. Okay. Question number 19. What is the purpose of selective breeding? Selective breeding is basically done to get the high quality offsprings only. So for example, if you want to have the highest quality of milk, so you will only select those females who produce the highest quality of milk. Okay. So selective breeding is the process of selecting the parent animals based on their performances so that only high quality offsprings are born. So very important concept, just remember it. Question number 20. Arrange the following steps in wool processing as per the normal order of production. So first of all you have shearing, then you have scouring, then you have sorting, and then finally you have dyeing. Then after the word you have combing also. So answer here is B, that is 2143. So shearing is basically the fleece of the sheep along with a thin layer of skin is removed from its body. Scouring is the sheared skin with hair is thoroughly washed in tanks to remove grease, dust, dirt, any and small animals, etc. Sorting is the hairy skin is sent to a factory where hair of different textures are separated or sorted. Then scouring to remove burr is the fibers are scoured again and dried. So this has been already done here. Dyeing is basically like black, brown, green, white, whatever. And combing is the fibers are straightened, combed and rolled into yarn, and they can be used to make sweaters, etc. Okay. So question number 21. Wool sorters can suffer from which occupational disease? Very commonly asked. So answer here is anthrax. Anthrax is they are also called as sorters disease. Bacillus anthracis is the bacteria which causes it. So wool sorters job is risky because they get infected by bacterium called anthrax, which causes a fatal blood disease called anthrax and sorters disease. And such risks which are faced by workers in any industry are called as occupational hazard. Okay, so this is important. Question number 22. What do you understand by sericulture? So seri is basically silk and culture means rearing of silk. So here answer is C, that is rearing of silkworms to get silk is sericulture. Question number 23. The process of taking out threads from the cocoon for use as silk is called as, again like this is a typical word which is a scientific word. Answer here is reeling. So it is reeling the silk. B. So a pile of cocoons is used for obtaining silk fibers. The cocoons are kept under the sun or boiled or exposed to steam, and the silk fibers separate out. The process of taking out threads from the cocoon for use as silk is called as reeling the silk, and reeling is done in special machines which unwind the threads or fibers of silk from the cocoon. Now silk fibers are then spun into silk threads which are woven into the silk cloth by weavers. Question number 24. Clinical thermometers measure temperature from which of the following ranges? So clinical thermometer is basically the range is 32 to 37 degrees Celsius because human body does not go below 35 and does not go above 42. Okay. So the thermometer that is used to measure our body temperature. So but if you ask a doctor, then they will say that the range can vary from 35 to 42. Okay. So that is the answer here, but here the best option is C, but I think it should be 35 to 42. Question number 25. What is the purpose of kink in the clinical thermometer? So kink is basically to prevent mercury level from falling on its own. Okay, so that is why the kink will prevent it. So what happens is when taken out from the mouth, the mercury level does not rise or fall. The kink will prevent mercury level from falling on its own. Question number 26. The process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end of an object is called as. So basically there are three processes in which the heat can be transferred: conduction, convection and radiation. So conduction is this process where it is done. Radiation is that is done without any medium. Okay. Here answer is B. So the heat flows from a body at a higher temperature to a body at a lower temperature. There are three ways. There are conduction, convection and radiation. In solids it is by conduction, liquids and gases it is transferred by convection, while with radiation like from sun to earth there is no medium which is required. Question number 27. Which of the following are poor conductors of heat? Now this is an interesting question. Here the answer is air is obviously a very poor conductor, and water is also a very poor conductor. Unfortunately people do not understand it. People think that water will lead to electric shocks and all. That is wrong. It is water with salt that leads to such shocks. Okay, pure water is a bad conductor of heat. Okay, and electricity also. So here answer is C. The materials which allows heat to pass through them easily are conductors of heat. They will include most metals like aluminium, iron, copper, steel. And the materials which do not allow heat to pass through them easily are poor conductors like plastic, wood, air. So they are also known as insulators, and the water and air are poor conductors of heat. Question number 28, transfer of heat from one place to another by the movement of fluids is known as. So I have already explained this. Okay, so when it talks about fluid, so it is convection. So answer here is A. So when water air are heated, the water air near the flame will get hot, and water or air will rise up. So this process will continue, and this mode of heat transfer is known as convection. And due to convection, the hand above the flame will feel hot. On the sides, however, there is no convection and air does not feel as hot as at the top. Question number 29, transfer of heat without the help of any medium occurs in case of. Now again, this is a commonly asked question, so answer here is radiation. So the transfer of heat by radiation does not require any medium like from sun to earth, and when we sit in the front of a room heater, we get heat by this process. A hot utensils kept away from the flame cools down as it transfers heat to the surroundings by radiation. Conduction is by direct contact. Convection is the movement of heat by actual motion of matter, while radiation does not. It is done with the help of electromagnetic waves. Question number 30. Why do we wear dark colored clothes in winter and light colored clothes in summer? Here the answer is dark colored objects will absorb radiation better than the light colored objects. So any dark colored object absorbs radiation better than a light colored body. On the other hand, woolen clothes keep us warm during winters because wool is a poor conductor of heat and it has air trapped in between the fibers. So we'll continue our discussion. Question number 31. Phenolphthalein, which is a commonly used chemical in laboratories, is or an? So it is basically an indicator. So answer here is D. So now what is an indicator? So whenever like you take a substance which is either acidic or basic, and when you touch it with an indicator, so it changes colors, a specific color, and then you can identify whether the substance or solution is acidic or basic. So acids are sour in taste, bases are bitter in taste and soapy to touch. Acid will turn red, any litmus into red, and bases will turn red litmus into blue. Substances which are neither acidic or basic are called as neutral, and solutions of substances that show different color in acidic, basic and neutral solution, they are called as indicators. And phenolphthalein is a commonly used indicator in laboratories, so please remember it. So answer here is D. Phenolphthalein is a indicator. Quick lime is applied to soils which are highly, so quick lime is base, so you will apply it to soil which are highly acidic, so answer here is A. So excessive use of chemical fertilizer will make the soil acidic, plant will not grow well if the soil is either acidic or basic. And when the soil is too acidic, it is treated with bases like quick lime like calcium oxide or slake lime like calcium hydroxide. And if the soil is basic, organic matter is added to it, and organic matter releases acids which neutralizes the basic nature of the soil. So answer here is A. Question number 33. Calamine solution is applied over ant bite injuries because. So they are applied to neutralize the effect of ant bite, which injects acid into the skin. So here the answer is B. So ants, when they bite, they release formic acid, so acid will hurt you, but if you applied base, so acid and base will neutralize together and they will form salt. So the effect of the acid can be neutralized by rubbing moist baking soda like sodium hydrogen carbonate or calamine solution which contains zinc carbonate. Question number 34. Which of the following chemicals is also known as blue vitriol or neela thota? So here the answer is A, that is copper sulfate. So green vitriol is the term which is used for hydrated ferrous sulfate. Blue vitriol is used for copper sulfate. Epsom salt is used for magnesium sulfate heptahydrate, and milk of magnesia is used for magnesium hydroxide. So it is also has medicinal purposes. Question number 35. Which of the following is the standard test for carbon dioxide? So whenever carbon dioxide is treated with lime water, it will make calcium carbonate and it will turn the lime water milky. This is the typical phrase which our chemistry teachers used to teach: reaction of carbon dioxide with lime water. So when carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, calcium carbonate is formed which makes the lime water milky, and the turning of lime water into milky is the standard test of carbon dioxide. So your answer is B. Question number 36. Rusting of iron can be prevented by. So if you like, which of the following is essential for rusting of iron? Oxygen and moisture are required, so answer here is C, that is 1 and 3. So for rusting, the presence of both oxygen as well as the water or water vapor is essential, and in fact if the content of the moisture in air is high, which means if the air is more humid, rusting becomes very fast. Question number 37. Rusting of iron can be prevented by which of the following? Oil, grease, paint, all these are there. Galvanizing is also there where you apply zinc. So answer here is D, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So in order to prevent rusting, prevent iron articles from coming in contact with oxygen or water or both, and one simple way is to apply a coat of paint or grease, and in fact these coats should be applied regularly to prevent the rusting. And another way is to deposit a layer of a metal like chromium or zinc or on iron. In this process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron is called as galvanization, and the iron pipes we use in our homes to carry water are galvanized to prevent the rusting. And another way to prevent rusting of iron is by mixing iron with carbon and metals like chromium, nickel, manganese to make stainless steel which does not rust. Question number 38. Which of the following is an example of a physical change? Combustion, rusting, photosynthesis, all these are example of chemical changes, but crystallization is an example of a physical change. So a change in which no new substance is formed and the physical properties like shape, size, color, state, etc. of the substances are changed, it is called as a physical change, and it is a temporary change and it is easily reversible. So the molecular composition is unchanged, and a change in which the chemical properties of a substance are changed and one or new substances are formed, it is called as chemical change. And the molecular composition is completely changed and it becomes a permanent change, so it is not easily reversible also. And in crystallization, no new chemical is formed, so it is a physical change and it is also easily reversible. So answer here is B. Question number 39. The day-to-day conditions of the atmosphere with respect to rainfall, temperature, wind velocity is called as, so they are called as weather, while a long term thing is called as climate. So answer here is A. So the average weather pattern taken over a long time, usually 25 years, is called the climate of the place, while the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere with respect to rainfall, temperature, wind velocity, etc., it is called as weather. Question number 40. Consider the following statements. Rainforest occupy about 6% of Earth's surface. Yes, this is correct. Rainforest contain 50 to 60% of all animal life on Earth. So this is also correct. So here answer is C, that is both 1 and 2. So there is nothing to explain. Energy in a cyclone is derived from which of the following? So energy in a cyclone is basically derived from condensation. So answer here is C. So water takes up heat from the atmosphere to change into vapor. Okay. Now these water vapor then form the clouds, and when water vapor changes back to liquid from as raindrops like condensation, this heat is released to the atmosphere, and the heat released to the atmosphere warms the air around, and the air tends to rise and cause a drop in the pressure, and more the air rushes to the center of the storm. So this cycle is repeated again and again. Then the chain of events ends with the formation of a very low pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it, and it is this weather condition that we call a cyclone. Question number 42. What is the main cause of winds on earth? So what do you think is the main cause? So if the earth's surface is not unevenly heated, then there will be no winds at all. So answer majorly is C, uneven heating of the earth's surface. So here answer is C. Humus is present in which of the following layer of the soil? Again, it is a very important. So humus is present in the topsoil. So here answer is A. So A horizon of the soil is the where the humus is present. So a vertical section through different layers of the soil is called the soil profile, and each layer differs in feel, texture, color, depth, chemical composition, and these layers are referred to as horizons. And soil horizon are found in the following order from top to bottom: A, B, C, D, and bedrock. A, B, C, bedrock. So a horizon is generally dark in color as it is rich in humus and minerals. The humus makes the soil fertile and it provides nutrients to growing plants. And this layer is generally soft, porous, and can retain more water. And this also provides shelter for many living organisms such as worms, rodents, moles, and beetles. And the roots of small plants are embedded entirely in the topsoil. Question number 44. If this amount of large and fine particle is about the same, then the soil is called as, so it is called as a loamy soil. So the soil is classified on the basis of proportion of particles of various size. If the soil contains greater proportion of big particles, it is sandy soil. If the proportion of fine particles is high, it is clayey soil. And if the amount of large and fine particle is about the same, then the soil is called as loamy soil. And the best topsoil for growing plants is loam. And loamy soil is a mixture of sand, clay, and another type of soil particle known as silt. Last question for this lesson is percolation of water is highest in which of the following? So percolation of water will obviously be highest in sandy soil, and it is the highest in sandy soil and least in the clay soil. So we'll continue our discussion. This course has 17 lessons. So thank you for watching this. So this is part 4, question number 46. Which of the following cells can respire anaerobically? So brain cells cannot and they need oxygen very much. Muscle cells, yes, sometimes they can. Yeast, yes. Stomach cells, no. So answer here is 2 and 3B. So yeast are single-celled organisms and they respire anaerobically, and during this process they yield alcohol, and you might have heard about bakery industry employing yeast. So this is the reason why they are therefore used to use wine, beer, bread, etc. Muscle cells can respire anaerobically when there is temporary deficiency of oxygen, as during heavy exercise. Question number 47. Breathing involves the movement of which of the following? Rib cage, yes. Diaphragm, yes. Windpipe, nostril, they do not move. Answer here is A, 1 and 2. So breathing involves the movement of diaphragm, rib cage, and diaphragm is basically a dome-shaped muscles and is a large muscular sheet that forms the floor of the chest cavity. And during inhalation, ribs moves up and on outwards, and diaphragm moves down. And this movement increases space in our chest cavity, and air rushes into the lungs. The lungs get filled with air. During exhalation, ribs move down and inwards, while diaphragm moves up to its former position. And this reduces the size of the chest cavity, and air is pushed out of the lungs. Question number 48. Which of the following structures help the insects in breathing? So spiracles, yes. Lungs, they do not have trachea, yes. So answer is here is 1 and 3. Okay. So insects have small openings called spiracles on their body, and these spiracles are connected to a series of air tubes called as trachea. So oxygen rich air rushes through the spiracles into the tracheal tubes, and it diffuses into the body tissue and reaches every cell of the body. And similarly, carbon dioxide from the cells goes into the tracheal tubes and moves out through spiracles into the atmosphere. Question number 49. Which of the following organisms breathe through skin? Earthworms, basically they breathe through skin, but they are not insects, they are annelids. So earthworms breathe through their skin, which feels moist and slimy on touching, and gases can easily pass through its skin. Question number 50. Frogs can respire through which of the following structure? They can respire through lungs, they can through skin also. So answer here is A, 1 and 2. So frogs can breathe through lungs as well as the moist skin. Question number 51. Roots of the plants take up oxygen for respiration from which of the following structure? So here the answer is C, that is air in the soil. So roots take up air from the air spaces present between the soil particles. So answer here is C. Question number 52. Over watering of soil is harmful for plants because which of the following? So whenever you will over water, what will happen is the air which is present in the soil, it will get displaced by water, and the respiration will not be proper. And if you do over watering, the plant might even die after some time. So the answer is C. Over watering will displace the soil air and impede the respiration in the roots. Okay, so overwatering will lead to decreased availability of oxygen to the roots, which depends on soil air for respiration, and thus overwatering harms the plant in general. Question number 53. Why valves are present in veins but not in arteries? In arteries, the blood flows at a very high pressure, very heavy pressure, because it comes straight from the heart and the pressure is very heavy. So you do not need backflow, will never happen. But in veins, backflow might happen. So to prevent that, there are valves. Okay, so the answer here is C, because the blood pressure is low in the veins. So blood pressure is low in veins, and therefore valves are present in them in order to avoid backflow of the blood. So we used to cut the veins of the cadaver, and we actually used to see these valves in our MBBS days. Question number 54. Which of the following organisms do not have a circulatory system? Sponges does not have a circulatory system. Cockroach has a circulatory system. So answer cannot be A or C. Hydra and snakes. So here the answer is B, that is 1 and 3. So sponges and hydra, they do not have a circulatory system. So animals such as sponges and hydra do not possess any circulatory system. The water in which they live brings food and oxygen as it enters their body, and the water carries away waste materials and carbon dioxide as it moves out. Question number 55. Which of the following scientists discovered the circulation of blood? So here answer is William Harvey. About 500 years ago, he was the one who found out the double circulation of the blood. What do you mean by double circulation? First the blood goes into the lungs, and then the blood goes into the entire body, and then into the lungs again. So that is called as the double circulation of blood. For the oxygenation of the blood, it is required. Question number 56. Which of the following organs is not a part of excretory system? So here the answer is C, penis. Ureters, urethra, urinary bladder, all these are part of excretory system, because this consists of kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra only. Question number 57. Water kept in an earthen pot is cooler than the water kept in a plastic jug because? So here it is very simple. Earthen pots has pores. So here answer is B. So water kept in an earthen pot is cooler because water evaporates from the pores of the pot, which has a cooling effect. Okay, and the mechanism is just similar to the cooling effect of sweat. I'll give you another example. Just pour some drops of alcohol or spirit on your hand and you will feel instantly cool because it will get evaporated from your skin and it will take the heat away from your skin. Question number 58. Which of the following organisms and their chief excretory product is correctly matched? Man uric acid is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Fish ammonia is correct. Birds urea is wrong. So 1 and 3 is like usually changed. Man is urea and birds are uric acid. So answer here is B, that is 2 only. So the way in which excretory products are removed from the body of the animal depends on the availability of water, and excretory product in man is urea, while in reptiles, birds it is uric acid. Question number 59. Dialysis is a clinical procedure which is done in the patient suffering from which of the following? So it is done in case of kidney failure. See, technically it can be done in case of other failures also. Like other failure might lead to kidney failure eventually, but kidney failure is the primary reason why dialysis is done. So kidney helps in removal of waste products from our body, and in kidney failure waste products accumulate in the body and dialysis is performed to remove them. And question number 60. Which of the following helps in transport of water and minerals from roots in plants? So just remember, phloem has O, food also has O. So when it comes for transfer of food, so answer is phloem. When it comes for the transfer of water, answer is xylem. So answer here is B. So xylem forms a continuous network of channels that connects roots to the leaves through the stem and branches, and it transports water and minerals to the entire plant. And phloem, just remember O for O, phloem transports food prepared by the leaves to all the other parts of the plant. So we'll continue our discussion. Thank you. So we continue our course. So which of the following statement is or are correct? Stomatine plants are involved in respiration. Okay, this is correct. Stomatine plants are involved in transpiration. Like transpiration is loss of water, so that water can be absorbed from roots. Stomatine plants help in transport of water and minerals. This is also correct because like they create suction pull through transpiration. So answer here is D, 1, 2, 3. So stomata are minute pores in the leaves of the plant which helps in exchanges of gases as well as transpiration. Now transpiration will help in transport of water and minerals from roots to all the parts of the plant, and it creates a suction pull which helps in pulling water to leaves and other parts of the trees. Question number 2. What do you understand by vegetative propagation? Vegetative propagation is basically it is a reproduction in which the vegetative parts of the plant grow into a new plant. Okay, so here like if you have seen like in potato also, like if you keep potatoes for 10-20 days you will see that the green things are coming out, and if you separate it and like sow it in the soil, so the potato plant will grow from it. So it is a form of reproduction in plants in which the vegetative parts of the plants like roots, leaves, stem, when they are planted into the soil they grow into a new plant, and vegetative parts which grow into a new plant like in roots in case of sweet potato and dahlia, stem in case of potato it is also called as ai, ginger, turmeric, champa, rose, and leaves in case of bryophyllum. Okay, so you can see a leaf coming out of a leaf. Question number 63. Which of the following plant is a plant in which any of the parts can grow into a new plant? So here the answer is cactus. So in cactus, like literally any part of the plant can grow into a new plant. So answer is B. Question number 64. Consider the following statements. Plants can reproduce by vegetative propagation only. This is wrong. Plants produced by vegetative propagation take less time to grow than plants produced from seed. This is correct. So answer here is B, that is 2 only. So plants can reproduce by vegetative propagation, asexual reproduction, as well as from seeds, sexual reproduction. And plants which are produced by vegetative propagation takes less time to grow than the plants which are produced from seeds. Question number 65. Which of the following organisms and their mode of reproduction are correctly matched? Yeast budding, yes. Algae fragmentation, yes. Fungi spore formation, yes. So here that answer is D, that is 1, 2, 3. All these statements are correct here. So fragmentation occurs when a parent organism breaks into fragments or pieces, and each fragment develops into a new organism. Now budding occurs when a parent cell forms a bubble-like bud, and the bud stays attached to the parent cell while it grows and develops. And when the bud is fully developed, it breaks away from the parent cell and it forms a new organism. Spores are basically asexual reproductive bodies, and when they can withstand huge temperature up to 80, 90, 100 degrees Celsius and like harsh conditions, and each spore is covered by hard protective coat to withstand unfavorable condition like high temperature, low humidity. They can survive for a long time, and under favorable condition a spore will germinate and develop into a new individual. Plants like moss, ponds also reproduce by means of spores. Question number 66. Consider the following statements. Stamen is the female reproductive part of a plant. So basically they have reversed it. Stamen is the male reproductive part of a plant. Pistil is the female reproductive part of the plant. So these are reversed and UPSC do it a lot. Answer here is D, none of the above. So stamen is the male reproductive part of a plant while pistil is the female reproductive part of a plant. and a stamen consists of anther, that is contains pollen grains, male gametes and filament, and a pistil consists of stigma, style and ovary, that is it contains one or more ovules in which female gamete or egg develops. Question number 67. After fertilization, the ovary grows into a. So everybody should know that fruit is basically a fertilized ovary. So answer here is A, fruit. So after fertilization, the ovary grows into a fruit and other parts of the flower fall off, and the fruit is basically a ripened ovary. Okay. So everybody should know this. And the seeds develop from the ovules, and the seeds contain an embryo enclosed in a protective seed coat. And when seed will come into the contact of soil, then again they will grow into an individual plant. Seed dispersal in plants is a means to avoid competition for sunlight, water, etc. Because if they put all the seeds at one place, they have to compete and most of them will die. So it prevents competition between the plant and its own seedlings for sunlight, water and minerals, and it also enables the plants to invade new habitats for wider distribution, etc. Question number 69. Which of the following is not a means of seeds dispersal? So water, wind, insects are all the means of seed dispersal. Pollination is basically transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. It has nothing to do with seed dispersal. So answer here is D. So means of seed dispersal include wind, water, insects, birds, even mammals, bats, humans, explosion of fruit. All these are means of seed dispersal. While pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. Question number 70. Sundial is an instrument used to measure. So bat are usually for pollen grains. Okay. Sundial is an instrument used to measure. Here answer is time. Okay, it has nothing to do with size of the sun or size of the earth or distance. So you might see it in various locations in India and museums, etc. Odometer in vehicles is a device used to measure. So odometer is basically for distance. Okay. So tachometer is basically for RPMs, that is RPM of the wheel, while odometer measures the total distance. So you have seen in, if you have like a Maruti Swift Desire car or something, you will see that it has been run for 20,000 kilometers or 30,000 kilometers and so on and so forth. So tachometer measures the revolutions per minute of the wheel, while odometer measures the total distance traveled by a vehicle, and speedometer measures the speed of the vehicle. Question number 72. Which of the following follows a periodic motion? Pendulum, obviously. Earth's revolution around the earth, it's so yes, Earth's axis. So this is sun. Okay, Earth's rotation on its axis and water waves. So all these follow basically periodic motion. So answer here is D, 1, 2, 3, 4. So periodic motion is a recurrent motion in which the intervals of time required to complete each cycle are equal. Question number 73. Timekeeping services in India are provided by which of the following? So basically they are provided by National Physical Laboratory and it is located in New Delhi. Okay. Question number 74. Wires which are used to make electric fuses, so they have to melt very very quickly. If they do not melt, what will happen is the conduction will still carry on and it will lead to destruction of your electrical appliances. It may even lead to fire. So wires which are made from special material act as a fuse and they will melt very quickly and they will break the large electric currents passing through them. So these wires are used for making electric fuses. So sorry, it is again repeated. Electric bulb was discovered by which of the following? So I thought I'll include that. Answer here is Thomas Alva Edison. So it is very commonly asked question in various examinations. So answer here is B. Question number 75. Consider the following statements regarding image formation by a plane mirror. Image formed by a plane mirror is vertically inverted. No, it is virtual. It is erect, but it is laterally inverted. Okay, it is erect. It is not vertically inverted. So first is wrong. So since first is wrong, the only option that can be correct is B, that is 2 and 3. Image formed by a plane mirror is equal in size to the object. Yes. So you just stand in front of the mirror, right? So it is laterally inverted. Your right hand becomes its left hand and so on and so forth. It is 100% equal in size. And image formed by a plane mirror is at the same distance behind the mirror as the object is in front of it. So you can do the experiment right now. Just stand in front of a dressing mirror. Answer here is B, that is 2 and 3. So image formed by a plane mirror is virtual of the same size as the object, but it is erect and laterally inverted. That is left side becomes right side and so on. This is the reason why ambulance is written as this. When the driver of a vehicle ahead of an ambulance looks in his rear view mirror, he or she can read ambulance written on it and give way to it. So they may also ask you why ambulance is written in ulta. So we will continue our discussion. Hey guys, what's up? So question number 76 is which of the following mirrors and their uses are correctly matched? Concave mirrors are torches, headlights, mirror used by dentists. Convex mirror are side mirrors in vehicles. So both these statements are correct here. So the mirrors which you see in vehicles are different than what dentists use. So answer here is C, both 1 and 2. So a concave mirror can form a real and inverted image. Okay, so when the object is placed very close to the mirror, the image formed is virtual, erect, and very magnified, so that the dentist can see. Or like similarly, when you shave, also the similar glass is used. The image formed by a convex mirror is erect, virtual, and smaller in size than the object. So it is written right in the headlight, the mirror, the side, the back mirror. A concave lens is also known as which of the following? So a concave lens is basically a diverging lens, okay, because it diverges or bend outwards the light rays which fall on it. So here answer is A. So concave lens is a diverging lens which diverges or bends outward light rays falling on it. Convex lens is basically converging lens which converges or bends the inward light rays falling on it. Concave mirror is converging mirror and convex mirror is basically diverging mirror. So answer here is A. Question number 78. When is the World Water Day celebrated? So World Water Day is celebrated on 22nd March and Earth Day is celebrated on 22nd April. So you should know these things because it is very commonly asked. So answer here is A, that is 22nd March. Okay. So it is self-explanatory. Question number 79. Which of the following forms the largest source of fresh water on the earth? So here for fresh water the answer is glaciers and polar ice caps. So they have the largest source of fresh water on this planet earth. So answer here is D. Question number 80. Which of the following is responsible for depletion of groundwater? So when it comes to depletion of groundwater, overuse is obviously one of the most important reason, no doubt about it. Concrete structures are also there because it does not allow the percolating of water, so it does not get stored in the groundwater. Constructions activities are also responsible for this. Answer is D, 1, 2, 3. So construction activities consume a lot of water and many places groundwater is used for these activities, and concrete structures impede the infiltration of rainwater into the ground. Question number 81. Which of the following regions of India suffer from worst water shortage? So here answer is obviously northwest India, which includes your Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana. This region because it has desert in it. So answer here is C. Okay, there is no doubt about it. Question number 82. Which of the following allows sustainable use of water? So rainwater harvesting, obviously it will allow sustainable use of water. Drip irrigation also, and bawdis also. Bawdis is very commonly used in Rajasthan's villages where they have these deep wells where water is stored. So here answer is D. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So rainwater harvesting is the practice of using rainwater for recharging the groundwater, and drip irrigation is a technique of watering plants by making use of narrow tubes which deliver water directly at the roots or the base of the plant, while Bowery is a structure or old practice of water storage and water recharge. Question number 83. Branchy part of a tree above the stem is known as that is called as crown. Okay, so here answer is A. So part of the plant above the soil is known as shoot. The branchy part of a tree above the stem is known as the crown of the tree. While canopy is not a single plant but it is made by lots of plants together, and it is the above ground portion of a plant community or a crop which is formed by a collection of individual plant crowns. Question number 84. Which of the following are affected by the forest? Climate, air quality, water cycle, tsunamis. So climate, air quality, water cycle are obviously affected by forest. Tsunamis have nothing to do with that. Rather you can say that tsunamis effect can be mitigated if you have mangrove trees. So your answer is B, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Question number 85. The United Nations General Assembly proclaimed the period between 2005 and 2015 as an, so they proclaimed this decade as a international decade for action on water for life. So here answer is D, that is international decade for action on water for life. Question number 86. Arrange the following steps in wastewater management treatment in chronological order. So first you have screening. Obviously you will screen, and then you'll have clarification. Clarification is basically where you separate stuff. Aeration means when you put lot of air in it, and finally you have chlorination so that the bacteria and harmful viruses etc they are killed by this, so it becomes like useful and it can be used for other purposes. And so answer here is A, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. It is arranged in the logical sequence. Okay. Question number 87. Why is it advised to plant eucalyptus trees along the sewage ponds? Because wastewater is water where many plants will not grow, but eucalyptus trees absorb all the surplus wastewater very rapidly. So your answer is B. Okay. So eucalyptus tree will absorb all the surplus wastewater rapidly, and in turn will release the fresh water into the atmosphere eventually. Question number 88. Which of the following are present in energy giving foods? So here the answer is fats, carbohydrates. They are the energy giving foods, while proteins are like not considered energy giving foods as such in NCERT, but obviously you get energy from proteins also. But at NCERT level, so this MCQ is correct. But technically, fat, carbohydrates, and proteins all are energy giving foods. Okay, vitamins are definitely not energy giving foods. So if the option is there 1, 2, 3, you can mark 1, 2, 3. If there is 1 and 2, so you can mark 1 and 2. So food containing carbohydrates and fats provide us energy, and those are called as energy giving foods. But this is at a very layman explanation. Proteins help in bodybuilding, and foods containing proteins are called as bodybuilding foods. But you get the same amount of calories from carbohydrates as you get from protein. There is no difference between that. Question number 89. Iodine test is a commonly test to use identify. So starch के लिए बहुत commonly होता है. So starch is a carbohydrate. So answer here is B. Okay. So iodine test is a very commonly used test to identify carbohydrates. Okay. So you might have done it in laboratory. Violet color हो जाता है. And question number 90. Copper sulfate test. So copper sulfate is also known as CuSO4 or blue vitriol or Neela Thota. And this test is very commonly used, especially I remember in my chemistry classes. So we used to test protein with it. So copper sulfate test is a very commonly used test to identify proteins. So we will continue our discussion in the next lesson. I hope you are getting a lot of information. Thank you for watching this. Question number 91. Which of the following vitamins help us in fighting against diseases? So basically it is a lame question because most of the vitamins do help us, but in NCERT is mentioned vitamin C, which is true also, which is not incorrect. So answer here is C, vitamin C. So vitamin A keeps our skin and eyes healthy. Again, it is a very laymanish explanation. Vitamin C helps build to fight many diseases. Vitamin D helps our body to use calcium for bones and teeth, but there are a lot more functions than that for these vitamins. Question number 92. Which of the following are regarded as nutrients? So except water, all these are regarded as nutrients. Water and dietary fiber are also needed, but they are not classified as nutrients. So answer here is C, 1, 2, 4. So only carbohydrates, proteins, fats, so these are energy producing. Minerals and vitamins are regarded as nutrients, and water and dietary fiber are also needed in our body, but they are not classified as nutrients. Okay. Question number 93. Which of the following statement is or are correct regarding roughages? So they provide us energy, 100% correct. They add to the bulk of our food. They are essential for our body. They help in removal of digested food from our body. So here the answer is incorrect. It's asking. So they provide us energy is incorrect, and they help in removal of digested food from our body is also incorrect. So here answer is 1 and 4, and second and third statement are correct. So roughages don't provide us energy, but they are essential in our diet and help in removal of undigested food from our body. Question number 94. Diseases that occur due to lack of nutrients in our diet over a long period, they are called as basically they are obviously if you are deficient in something, so the diseases which occur are called as deficiency disease. It's simple English term. So diseases that occur due to lack of nutrients over a long period of time are called as deficiency disease. Kwashiorkor, marasmus, lots of diseases are there. Question number 95. Deficiency of vitamin B1 results in. So scurvy is caused by deficiency of vitamin C. Beriberi is caused by deficiency of vitamin B1. Rickets is caused by deficiency of vitamin D. And B1 disorder, there is nothing like B1 disorder. This is just to fool you. Answer here is B, that is beriberi. Okay, now it is wet beriberi, dry beriberi. You don't have to understand. You don't need to become a doctor. Just remember superficial things. Question number 96. Deficiency of vitamin C results in which of the following? So basically during 15th, 16th, 17th century, whenever people used to go for huge naval expeditions like Columbus, Vasco da Gama, etc. So their crew used to die. Half of the crew used to die because they were eating just bread and biscuits. So they were deficient in vitamin C, and it leads to bleeding, and it leads to weakening of bones and bleeding from gums. So this disorder is called as scurvy, and eventually to lead to death. So answer here is a scurvy. Deficiency of vitamin D results in which of the following? So it results in rickets and osteomalacia. Okay, so here answer is C, rickets. So bones become so answer is C, rickets. Bones become brittle here, so it is also called as brittle bone disease. Okay. Question number 98. Deficiency of iodine results in which of the following? So people who live in hilly area like Himachal Pradesh, etc. Earlier, like 50 years ago, when there was no iodized salt, they used to develop this thick lump in their thyroid gland, because in deficiency of iodine, thyroid expands so that it can get more and more iodine, and so it results in something is called as goiter. So you might have called it, they call it ghinga in Hindi, and it becomes a very big lump around the throat. So that occurs because of deficiency of iodine. Fortunately, it does not happen now, because government of India has compulsorily asked to sell iodine in the salt. Okay, so that is why this deficiency disorder does not happen. This is also called as fortification of food, when you deliberately add some nutrients to the food items. Answer here is C, that is goiter. Question number 99. Deficiency of iron results in which of the following? So deficiency of iron is results in something called as anemia. So anemia literally means lack of blood. So what happens is hemoglobin becomes low, and people have lethargy, and if the bleeding occurs, it may lead to further aversion of the further worsening of the condition, especially if the mother is the lady is pregnant, then it can lead to death of the mother as well as baby. So here answer is D, that is why anemia, and it is rampant in India. Like 70% of Indian females have anemia. It is very very rampant in India. That is why government gives iron and folic acid tablets to all the pregnant ladies, and to all the adolescents also. It is also there in boys also, but it is more there in females. Okay. Question number 100. Consider the following statements. Clothes or fabrics are made up of fiber. Basically, fibers are made up of yarn. Both are wrong. Fabrics are made up of yarn. So, fabrics are made up of yarn, and yarn is made up of fibers. So, it is wrong. So, answer here is D, none of the above. So, fabrics are basically made up of yarn, and yarn is made up of fiber. So, if you read these NCRTs, you will find these things mentioned there, and they are asked in the exam also. Okay. Question number 101. Fibers are obtained from which of the following? Plants, obviously. Animals, obviously. Artificial sources, obviously. Like you might be knowing about silk, so that is obtained from animal. Jute is obtained from plant. Nylon is a synthetic or artificial source. Answer here is D, that is 1, 2, 3. So fibers obtained from plants and animals are called as natural fibers. For example, wool, cotton, silk, etc. Fibers are also obtained from synthetic sources, and such fibers are called as synthetic fibers. Example, nylon, polyester, etc. Question number 102. In India, cotton is grown in areas having which of the following? So cotton is typically grown in Deccan Plateau region, so where the soil is black soil, and it is like okay. So answer here is C. So 102 is C. So cotton is grown in areas which have black soil. Question number 103. What do you understand by ginning of cotton? So if anybody of you who belongs to a farmer family like I do, so cotton is a very simple plant where kapas bolte hain isko Hindi mein. So what we do is we take these cotton fibers and we separate from seeds. Earlier we used to do by hand, now there are machines. Now this process of separating the cotton fibers from the seeds, this is called as ginning of cotton. Okay, so answer here is C. Separation of cotton fibers from the seeds is called as ginning of cotton. Question number 104. Jute is commonly grown in. So Bangladesh, West Bengal, they produce almost entire jute of the entire world. So which is there? So answer here is eastern parts of India. West Bengal is not in west of India. West Bengal is in east of India. So answer here is A, that is eastern parts of India. So jute is grown in high rainfall areas of eastern India, and it needs like constant river, because retting of jute is a process from which fiber is taken out, and lot of water is required for that. You can't grow jute in Rajasthan because of lack of water. And last question for this lesson is the process of making yarn from fibers is called as, so process of making yarn from the fibers is called as spinning. So when you spin, so it becomes yarn. So our answer is B. So we'll continue our discussion. Hey guys, what's up? So 106 question. The process of making fabrics from yarn is known as, so this process is called as weaving. So answer here is A. 106 answer is A. So there are two methods for making fabric from yarn. One is weaving and another is knitting. Okay. Question number 107. Threshing is the process of, so what do you do in threshing? So when you separate grains from the stalk, so you beat them so much that the grains are free, and it can be done manually also, with bullocks also, and machines also. So your answer is A, that is separating grains from the stalk. So the process that is used to separate grain from the stalks etc. is called as threshing, and in this process the stalks are beaten to free the grain seeds, and it can be done manually with the help of bullocks or with the help of machines. So your answer is A. Question number 108. Consider the following statements regarding winnowing. Winnowing is the process of separating heavier and lighter elements in a mixture. Winnowing works on the principle of magnetic separation. There is nothing magnetic about it. It's simply like the lighter particle goes away with the wind. Their answer is A, one only. So winnowing is basically used to separate heavier and lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing air. It does not depend on magnetic properties whatsoever, and it has been going on for last 2000 years. This method is commonly used by farmers to separate lighter husk particles from heavier seeds of grain. Until today, like in my village, people do it. Question number 109. Sieving is used to separate different particles in a mixture when. So basically, if you have different size, so sieve will have a size of pore. So the smaller particles will pass through the sieve, while the larger particles, which are usually the pollutants, they will stay. So the particles which have different sizes, they can be separated by sieving. Filter paper basically. So sieving is used when components of a mixture have different sizes. So answer here is B. Question number 110. Consider the following statements. Sedimentation is the process of settling down of heavy solids in a mixture of liquid and an insoluble solid. Decantation is the removal of the upper layer of the liquid without disturbing the settled solids. So here both these statements are correct and they are taken from NCRTs, and similarly you will find in the exam also. Answer is C, both 1 and 2. So the same principle is also used for separating a mixture of two liquids that do not mix with each other. For example, oil and water from their mixture can be separated by this process, and if a mixture of such liquids is allowed to stand for some time, they form two separate layers. The component that forms the top layer can then be separated by decantation, while filtration is the process by which very fine insoluble solids can be separated from a liquid solid mixture by passing it through a suitable porous material. So answer here is C. Question number 111. Consider the following statements. The process of conversion of water into its vapor is called as evaporation. The process of evaporation takes place at 100 degrees Celsius. Do one thing, like today's summer, right, in Delhi, Jaipur, this region, just pour out one bottle of water. Everything will go away in 1 hour. So obviously the temperature is not 100 degrees Celsius. So this is definitely wrong. So answer here is only 1. Okay, it occurs at all the temperatures. By the way, evaporation occurs at every temperature. Evaporation of water occurs when the surface of the liquid is exposed, allowing molecules to escape and form the water vapor. It can occur at any temperature, but its rate increase obviously in desert. It will be much faster. Question number 112. The process of conversion of water vapor into its liquid form is called as, obviously it is called as condensation. So here answer is B. So water drops are formed. Sublimation means when you directly convert gas. So when have you seen that snow melt and directly becomes steam or fog, something like that, without melting? So that is called as sublimation. Okay. So when anything solid turns into a gas without becoming a liquid. So water drops are formed on the outside surface of a cold surface like a glass of cold water due to condensation of atmospheric water vapors on the cold surface of the glass. Question number 113. Consider the following statements. A solution is said to be saturated if it cannot dissolve more of the substance in it. 100% correct. It is not possible in any way to dissolve more of the solute in a saturated solution. This is wrong. So answer, because if you can heat it, so it will have more, and if you cool it, then it will precipitate out. So answer is A, one only. So heating of a saturated solution makes it possible to dissolve more solute in a concentrated solution. So answer here is A. Question number 114. Salt is obtained from seawater by the process of. So salt is obtained from seawater by the process of evaporation. So here answer is A. Okay. Question number 115. Which of the following is the innermost part of a flower? So it is basically pistil, which is the female reproductive organ. Okay. So stamen is the male reproductive organ. So here answer is C, pistil. Some flowers are only having one sex organs. Some flowers have both the sex organs. So it is varies from plant to plant. It's a very complicated botany. Question number 116. Which of the following is the colored part of the flower? So the petal of the flowers are the one which you pick away. Okay. He will do it, he will not do it, he'll do it, he'll not do it. वो जो करते हैं movies में. So that is petal. Okay. He'll come, he'll not come, all that. So I will pass, I will fail, and all that. Okay. So sepals are the green colored outermost part of a flower, and their main function is to protect the growing bud. Sepals, sorry. And petals are the colorful part next to the sepals in the flower. They are colorful and attractive so that insects could be attracted for pollination. Question number 117. Which of the following roots has roots of equal length? Here answer is fibrous roots. So fibrous roots are the roots which are of equal length. So plants have three type of root system. One is taproot, where is there is one main root and then there are small branches. Okay, taproot has a main taproot which is larger and grows faster than the branch or the lateral roots. Fibrous is with all the roots about the same size, and third is adventitious roots, roots that form on any plant other than the roots, and adventitious roots make vegetative propagation possible. Question number 118. Which of the following is the correct about an adventitious root? So basically adventitious roots are roots which are growing from any part other than the roots of the plant. So any root which grows from any plant which is not the roots itself, so they are called as adventitious roots. So answer here is C. It is very self-explanatory. Question number 119. Which of the following is the main root? So I have already explained the main root is the taproot, which has very small hair-like branches coming out of it. So if you read NCERT, you will find the diagram. So here 119 answer is A. And last question for this lesson is, which part of the carrots, radish, sweet potato, turnip and tapioca is eaten? So it is a very typical question. So basically when you take out carrot or radish, if anybody has been to a farm, I used to take out, like, the root used to come out and we used to clean it with water. There are a lot of hairs, we used to remove them. So here answer is roots. So roots is the part which we eat in case of carrots, radish, sweet potato, turnip and tapioca. So thank you for watching this. Have an awesome day. So question number 121. Which of the following joints allow movement in all the directions? So as a doctor, like, ball and socket joint. So your shoulder joint is an example of ball and socket joint, and so it allows movement in all the directions. So answer here is B. Okay. Question number 122. Which of the following is a ball and socket joints? I have already given an example. So ball is basically made by the head of humerus and socket is made by scapula. So here the answer is shoulder joint, and your hip joint is also another example of a shoulder joint, of a ball and socket joint. So you should remember all these joints which are hinge joint, ankle joint is what type of joint, knee joint is what type of joint, wrist joint is what type of joint. So they can ask you in the government exams. Okay. So here the answer is shoulder joint, and another such joint is hip joint. So the joint that allows us to move our neck is what? So basically it is a pivotal joint. So pivotal joint, the question number 123 is, the joint that allows us to move our neck is a pivotal joint. So answer here is A. So let us see. It allows us to bend our head forwards and backwards, and we can turn it right and left, but that's about it. You cannot do anything more with your head than these things. Okay. So joints are a very important thing. So you should read please these NCERTs from 6th to 8th. Which of the following is a hinge joint? Now a hinge joint is a joint which allows movement in one direction only. Like door is hinged to the wall, right? So, or one end. So it can move only in one direction. So knee joint is another example of a hinge joint. Here the answer is elbow joint. So elbow joint, you can only move in one direction. You cannot move in any other direction. Here answer is D. So elbow joint, knee joint, they are example of hinge joints. Hinge joints allow motion in only one direction, like a hinge of a door, and knee joint is another example of a hinge joint. Okay. Question number 125. Which of the following is a fixed joint? So joints which are there in the skull. So you cannot move your skull bones, right? So there are so many bones in your skull, you don't even know the 29 bones in your entire skull, cranium included, face, etc. 29 roughly. So here answer is C. So joints in the skull, fixed joints will not allow the involved bones to move at all, like at all. Okay. So fixed joints will not allow the involved bones to move. So here answer is C. Question number 126. Consider the following statements regarding muscles. When contracted, the muscles become shorter, stiffer, thicker, and it pulls the bone. 100% correct. Muscles work in pairs. You can say 99%. So this statement is generally correct. So here answer is C, both 1 and 2. So muscles usually works in pairs. When one of them contracts, the bone is pulled in that direction. The other muscle of the pair relaxes. To move the bone in the opposite direction, relaxed muscle will contract to pull the bone towards its original position, and the first one will relax. And a muscle can only pull, it cannot push. So thus two muscles have to work together to move a bone. But there are exceptions. Okay. Question 127. Earthworm secretes a slimy substance which helps in which of the following? So this slimy substance will help in the movement of the earthworm. Okay. So here the answer is C. So it will help the worm to go through the soil very quickly and easily. Answer here is C. Question 128. Which of the following is a streamlined body? So anything like which is having water resistance. So these aquatic animals, plants, animals, they have streamlined body. Answer here is fish. So head and tail of the fish are smaller than the middle portion of the body, and the body tapers at both the ends. So this body is called a streamlined body, and the shape is such that water can flow around it easily and allow the fish to move in water. And aeroplanes, birds also have a streamlined body shape. Question number 129. The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable a plant or an animal to live in its surroundings is called as. So this is a scientific term and it's called as adaptation. So there is nothing about it. So this is the definition of adaptation. So answer is B. Okay. Question number 130. Which of the following is or are provided by the habitat to an animal? Food, shelter, air. Obviously all of these are provided, but they are mentioned in NCERT. People still make mistakes in this. Shelter, niche, environment, all these are provided by the environment to the organism. Answer is D. Question 131. Which of the following is an example of an aquatic habitat? So coastal area is not aquatic habitat technically. Grasslands, tropical forest, these are not the example. Here answer is ocean. So you need to understand there are so many habitats: terrestrial habitats, aquatic habitats, xerophytes, halophytes, phyte, aquaphyte, and like hydrophytes. So you have to learn about these habitats and you have to learn in your environment and ecology portion especially. That is very important. Okay. Question number 132. Plants, animals and different life forms constitute which of the following? So they constitutes plants, animals and different life. Life means bio. So a bio cannot be their original deciding. They are not, no terms like that are coined. Answer here is biotic factors of habitat. So answer is 132 is A, and it is pretty much self-explanatory. While other things like light, temperature, air, weather, rain, these are the abiotic components. Okay, which is the next question. So the non-living things of an ecosystem like rock, soil, air, water and the habitat, they constitute the abiotic components. Okay, they are not called lifeless components. This is wrong. So sunlight and heat from abiotic components of the habitat, they are also part of the habitats. Okay, so please remember these things. Okay, they are asked in the exam. Question 134. Which of the following is an adaptation for hot habitats? So just assume you are living in Rajasthan desert. So you will not like to have heavy fur. Okay, you will not like to have thick skin. You do not like to have deep chest. You will like to have a very thin skin, so that evaporation can happen and your body can actually cool down. Otherwise, you will die of heat stroke. So answer here is A, thin skin. And question number 135. Adaptation in an organism occurs in response to change in. So see, if your competition arises in a species, so it might a change in biotic factor, so that can also be there. And assume the ice age has come, so you have to change now also, so it is abiotic also. So both these factors will lead to the change. So here answer is C, that is both 1 and 2, that is both the biotic factors as well as the abiotic factors can lead to adaptation in an organism, and it occurs in changed biotic as well as abiotic factors. So continue watching this course.